time to take a TO with Coaches Turner and O'Neill. Produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy.
It's time to take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Your new favorite podcast features conversation from the world of high school, college, and pro sports, along with other riveting content. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast and on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, or visit www.turnerando'neill.com. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, and more than 15 podcast platforms. We also invite you into the studio each week via YouTube. Subscribe and watch each episode on our YouTube channel at Turner O'Neill Podcast. Thanks to our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness, and Justin O'Neill. Take a TO with Coach Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by me, DJ Krissy. Now we welcome you to today's episode as we take a TO with coaches Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Here's your host, Kurtis Cross.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 23 of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. I am Kurtis Cross, your host, and we are joined by coaches Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Our engineer is DJ Krissy, and together we welcome you to this week's episode. This is week 1 of 50, right?
Yeah.
This is 50 week 1. All right. Our premier partner for season 2 is Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Ray is a friend of the program, and he is the only mortgage lender we endorse right here at Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Ray Cruz is mortgage intelligently. I can personally vouch for that myself. We would like to thank our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and the Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. This week, we have a week of birthdays behind us as Coach Turner celebrated his 50th, and I now have a teenager with Chelsea turning 13 yesterday.
Hey.
If you'd like to check out our birthday ambush episode, go back to last week's episode, number 22. You'll find it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, and just about anywhere you get your podcast content. Episode 23 is here today, and we are excited to have Purple Eagles head coach Randy Travers joining today's podcast. But first, gentlemen, how was your week?
Got it.
A bunch of surprises?
Oh, they got to go old man over here. Let him go first,
Look
right?
here with that old man.
We got to yield to age.
Look at this old man stuff. Come on, you two.
Is it every week? It doesn't matter what time we record. Sean Clifton calls every week when we record.
He does.
He knows when we're on the mic.
So
You want me to answer that while you talk about your week?
Nah,
Sean doesn't really know me, so.
He knows.
Okay.
Well, big surprise.
Right.
I get surprised by family and friends, and told that I'm going to go give a speech for one of my former players for his birthday surprise.
Right.
We even talked leading up to that.
I talked to at least 4 people that were there at some point that morning.
I played it pretty cool.
And
I
Casey
played it
definitely
cool.
played. I was talking to him
Like,
on the way there.
where are you going?
Are you really?
I'm like, where are you going? He said, I'm dropping off Jared at his girlfriend's house. And then I said, well, what are you doing later on? Why are you in such a hurry? I just want to take a nap, and I got to give this talk in Laurel. I'm like, oh,
Right.
wow, Saturday night? You got a good. He's like, oh, it'll be great. It'll be great.
So I get there, and lo and behold, the surprise was on me.
Right?
And great group of people there. I was blessed. The testimonies from friends and family were really, really meaningful. This dude right here gave a great one.
Put on the spot, too.
And put on the spot to do it. And he did it. He did it all kinds of justice.
Do you do it well?
And scene. Let's do it.
Much appreciated. And I thank you for that, Casey.
I could do that.
You must have coached the game last night. Your voice is almost gone.
Yeah, I've lost my voice, Coach. I'm back in the saddle again.
The Summer League sidelines?
So Summer League sidelines, and we're playing like literally almost every night. So I'm here like no mints needed. I'm Ricola up.
Are you endorsing Ricola?
I am Ricola. I'm endorsing you. Let's see what you can do for me.
Now
There you go.
that's not Ricola.
Yeah, Ricola.
That's not the same thing, is it?
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
This is
All
Ricola.
right, endorsed.
So bag of those in the car, a couple in the pocket. Try to make sure. Starbucks you're getting a lot of love with the medicine balls.
Okay.
So, look, I need some endorsements here. Who can give back to Coach Turner for all the stuff?
Well, I endorse that you
he's
are
spelling out and giving to them.
I will endorse that you are a top-class guy. We were happy to be a part of everything. Your mother reached out to me. I was unable to make it I explained to you why, but so glad you were surprised. I saw some video.
I'm thankful to my lovely wife and my mom for thinking about me and making it happen. I really didn't want any fuss over it, but I had an unbelievable trip with my wife to Mexico the week before. And I thought that was, enough. But
yeah, you took fish from the boat, gave it to dude, and you're eating dinner an hour later.
That was beautiful, and I would love to. Cool. I'm looking to do that sometime again soon, especially with the Rock running the way they are down in the Bay. So I'm hoping if I can sneak a day away and grab a couple. Maybe if I grab a couple, I'll bring it back and do all of us here.
Do something out back.
I'll do us a stuffed rockfish. I do a pretty mean one.
Okay.
Stuff with crab.
Stuff with crab meat, baby.
Gotta be.
And I'm gonna go all the way. I'm throwing shrimp in there as well. So unbelievable week.
My man.
To be 50 on the other side.
Steve, we love you, man. We were glad to be a part of this, sir.
And I just thank all those who wrote unbelievable messages on my Facebook page, on my Instagram page. Like the love is well received, and I love you all back.
All right. You didn't know we loved you like that, huh?
I know it, but when you get to see it like that,
that's cool.
It's cool. It's different. It's different. I know it, but y'all showed it, and that means a lot.
So, Casey, sorry you have to go behind that again.
Talk about your week. We get to all share this weekend. Father's Day. We're all three of us.
That's true.
That's right. Father's Day.
Father's Day is coming up.
Coming up on Sunday. Look, I had a great weekend. It was an honor to be a part of that celebration. I met some folks I'd never met, part of your crew and your family.
Got to meet my dad.
Sat and had dinner with them.
Yeah.
We had dinner, and it was awesome. It was great to have Erica there and to give a toast and just see you be surprised was a blast. But as we were talking about before the show, as things open up, as more stuff's happening, we got Cole home and everything from a 6-year-old to a 12-year-old. I mean, practices, life is going crazy. And our season wrapped up, this little mini season we had in the spring, and boom, we are back at it June 24 and 25. Our guys will be coming down this week, getting ready for that event.
So 10 days off.
So we let some of the things I like to do as a coach is right after a season is let some other voices be heard. They've heard mine. I'm sick of hearing my own voice.
There you go. Yeah.
So we let some of the younger alums, that a little bit of energy come in there, work with them, and slowly but surely start to build up. So the guys are getting ready to go. There's a lot of different, you're playing hoops right now. Our kids are going to, Nike events, Under Armour events, showcases, prospect days, club team. It is full throttle. But the family, we're getting ready to go away on a little trip this week.
All right.
And taking off, getting out of here. And with that disconnect, just off the grid. But with that comes the panic of making sure everything's done.
Don't go all the way off the grid. At least throw some flicks up on the gram, on the story, on your gram, so we know where you're at, what it's looking like.
I can do that.
Let us follow you.
I've stayed social media kind
pictures.
of away. I'll do that. Well, how about this? I'll make sure that this group gets the picks.
Right. Okay.
We would love that. We would love that.
Hey, we'll tell everybody about the trip when we get back. Because I don't want folks to they don't even know what Coach said.
For me, busy week. We are back full sail DJing.
Was it ever for you Saturday?
Yeah, it was a busy day
Krissy.
Saturday with the judge and doing all this stuff. But things look like they're back to normal. Our clients are calling like you wouldn't believe, and we're staying busy. And again, for the second week in a row, I forgot what it's like to work all weekend doing gigs or whatever and wake up Sunday morning. And then we had a birthday to celebrate. We did an escape room with Chelsea and her friends for her birthday. They got out with like 3 to 5 minutes to spare. Ooh. So they did it. But Krissy, you were a part of the birthday weekend and all the gigs. How was your weekend, young lady?
My week was good. It was just, like you said, it was busy. Just, forgot about shows and stuff going on.
She worked a double on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, and Friday and
wedding on Friday, a birthday party Saturday during the day, a movie night Saturday night, and then she didn't have to, but of course she chose to help us with Chelsea's little get together on Sunday. So there's that.
Awesome.
13.
I got to throw one more shout out.
Oh, please.
My brother Sherrod.
Yes.
Made me this unbelievable cake.
Can I get a picture? We're gonna put it on our Instagram.
I got you.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. And he's been hitting my wife about this for like 2 years. Are you going to do something for Steve's 50th? Are you going to do something for Steve's 50th? And so my brother and I from my father. We don't get to see each other all the time, but we certainly have done a much better job of us staying in touch with each other. He certainly, whenever he can, he gets out to some events when we're down south to check out Jared play. But he wanted to do this, and he knew he had done something for us for our anniversary, our 20th. Sent us up some cupcakes and different things. But this cake, man, I'm telling him I'm trying to convince him to move up here right now and start a business.
Right.
Like, he's really good. Like, and shout out to you, Sherrod. I love you, boy.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. When I saw it, I'm like, how did they find this coat to give Steve this coat? I thought it was the actual coat. That's what I thought it was. I'm like, they went back. He found this coat somehow.
I still have mine. I still have my
but I
jacket.
thought that's what he bought.
Yeah.
And then Paula's like, that's the cake. And they noticed it has all his achievements on it and stuff. I'm like,
Socky's
wow.
Sweets.
Yep.
SOCKYS Sweets on the gram. Check it out. Ate with him as well. Eric and I had our.
Who did you not eat with?
Well, because of
Was it a
socially
table of
distanced-
30?
No, it was table of 4.
Little tables of 4 like this.
Okay.
So his dad, his brother,
Sherrod,
we're sitting there, and Erica and I, and we had a great meal and talked a little bit more sports. Didn't know he was such a Florida State Seminole fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
So am I.
I'm a Gator fan. I didn't
And
know
we
that.
never knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
until, like, growing up.
We're in the same studio. I'm a Gator, man.
We talk sports.
Chopping it,
And
baby.
We're
where
doing
he
this.
is, I mean, they're not too far. I was like, you're not too far from Clemson, where Cole
Yep.
is. They knew all about Furman and Greenville, the Paladins, and that whole area. So we had a nice time.
was good.
Socky's Sweets on the gram. Check it out.
I think the coolest
you
thing
will be
about-
blown away by these cakes at this.
The coolest thing about the other day was the connecting of
All the pieces of your life.
pieces of my life. That was pretty cool to have. You know, my big brother Deion Andrews back in the house, and
I miss
of course-
Deion.
Of course,
man.
Sean was there. It was really great. It was great to be able to connect.
Well, they're gonna show out for Steve Turner.
all my relationships.
because you would do the same for us. You absolutely would. So let's keep it moving and get into our first commercial break, and we will return with this week's headline. Kurt Cross here, producer of Take a T.O. with Turner and O'Neill. You know, there are few relationships more solid than the bond between a man and his barber. For years, I've gotten my cut with Gene the Barber. Gene has been cutting my hair for more than 20 years. Now, if you have a barber you're happy with, I understand. But if you're new to the area or looking for that perfect cut, my man Gene will tighten you up. Call him directly at 240-687-7253 and make an appointment. Gene the Barber, 240-687-7253.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our friends of the program: Shane Benson, Todd Bradley, Paula Cross, Susan and Brendan O'Neill Sr., Daniel Richard, Noah Richard, Andrea Terronez. If you'd like to become a friend of the program, go to www.turnerando'neill.com and click Become a Friend.
Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at TurnerOn Podcast, on YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerando'neill.com. A Squared Home and Office Solutions is the go-to source for home or office network and audiovisual solutions. We can help with smart home integration, wireless networking, media rooms, security systems, and more. We will link technology to your style seamlessly. Visit homeandofficesolutions.com for more info. One Headline is brought to you by
Insurance Alliance Group manages the gap between damage appraisal estimates from your insurance company and what you are rightfully owed based on your policy. They work on behalf of policyholders with claim assistance and disputes to maximize claims. Insurance Alliance Group serves as professional advisors and trusted advocates. The Insurance Alliance Group handles business and home property loss. Request a free claim review with the property loss professionals. Insurance Alliance Group. Visit us at insurancealliancegroup.com or call 866-574-4773.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Welcome back to Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill. Today's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. This week's headline, Phoenix made light work of Denver in their Western Conference playoff series. Are we seeing the perfect storm of Chris Paul being healthy with his combined, he's older now, his combined basketball IQ and leadership coming together all at the same time? Is this one of those things where we can say, this is what happens when he can stay healthy? He's, 10 years ago, he was healthy, but didn't have that basketball IQ. Now he's able, he has Devin Booker who will listen to him. He can be the elder statesman to bring these guys along. And you may have heard Devin Booker say, I'm just like a sponge with this guy. We sit on the airplane, we do this, and I can listen to him. Are we finally seeing it come together? Is this Chris Paul's year?
I definitely think it's his year. I can't say that it's his year guaranteed that he will win a NBA championship, but I think you're seeing all of his talents come out with this group, whether it be what he does in terms of his play, his ability to mentor and lead a group that trusts and believes in him, his ability to be able to work with a coach who he's worked with before, and those two are just on such the same page.
A DC boy?
To hear Monty say, like, Chris will call plays that I'm already thinking about, but I don't even say it, and he's already called it.
Right.
Like, it's, as a coach, it's an unbelievable thing when you're point guard and you are on the same page.
It makes you want to cry almost, don't it?
That I can speak from experience.
Right.
Like when you're just like in that groove together, and it's Sensei and the Master. It's Obi and Luke.
Right.
The Jedi Master and the young Jedi. It's an unbelievable thing, and we're getting to watch it. And I've just always been such a fan.
Are you saying Mr. Miyagi and Danielson?
Oh yeah, yes. Wax on, wax off all day long.
Cobra Kai.
Yes, sir. Cobra Kai.
There you go.
But it's a beautiful thing to watch, and for me, because of who I know him to be personally,
Right.
You
rocking the shirt?
It's well deserved. That's why I got the shirt rocking for him today.
Chris Paul. Here's my thing. How many times can Chris Paul bring the ball over half court? Jay Crowder set a screen. They don't switch on the screen, and Chris Paul gets into the elbow area and
that's
hits a jumper.
Sweet spot.
How many times are they not going to? Denver did not. At least 5-6 times
five
in
or
a row.
6 possessions in a row last night.
Why? I'm calling it out to the kids. I'm like, why are they not stopping it every single time?
Because of the change of the game. When you can't,
You don't want to hedge out on that and switch,
Well, that and you can't put hands on players anymore.
right?
Joe Dumars back in the day
Right.
could shut that down,
Right,
because he could move him to where he wanted to move him.
Right.
Without being able to do that anymore, the offensive guy has an advantage.
Right.
And it's the big thing you see in the NBA about the switches. It's why I hate saying that centers, the old school centers, getting extinct.
Yeah, they're moving, yeah.
because they can't guard on that switch and stay in front of a guy like him.
Right.
He's just too crafty. He's too smart.
I love that they were doing it, but Denver, you've got to find a way to switch on every screen or do something. What are you seeing here?
I got a feeling in this run that they're making with Chris Paul, I've got a feeling about, remember how long it took Tim Duncan or David Robinson, different positions obviously.
David Robinson didn't get it until Tim Duncan came along.
But you think about players like that who you want to see them succeed. You want to see them get a championship. Dirk. He got his one.
Yep.
But
Like at tail end of the career, right?
tail end of the career. And that's where I feel like this is kind of trending with the way that the Suns are playing. Look, when he goes to the Suns, we're, oh man, just another year. You didn't think that nobody predicted this.
No.
That wasn't the team. Or
2
the,
years
or
ago,
the
they were probably well
organization
under
thought.
500.
Yes.
I mean, I think of Ovechkin all these years being at the top of his game, sneaks one in late in his career. I mean, Ray Allen. Now, he granted had some pieces, but that's somebody
Right.
you wanted to see. That's the way I feel
Get a
about Chris
ship.
Paul. I'll be a Suns fan. Let's go.
Right. I'd like to see them do what they do.
Look, if it can't be your Lakers,
Right.
is this the team you're going to pull for coming down the stretch?
Absolutely. Out of the
Without
teams
fail.
left, I like them and Utah. I'll see Phoenix.
You
No
don't
one in
want
the
the
East.
Clippers. No.
No Clippers. I'd rather see the Celtics than the Clippers.
You don't mind Utah. Well, we'll talk NBA later, but
Yes, we will.
okay. All right. Let's do it.
Yes, we will. All right, and that is your one headline.
Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
Next Level Lacrosse. Train like a Spartan. Next Level Lacrosse is dedicated to providing a terrific lacrosse experience that is intensely focused on player development and character formation. Players at all levels will improve significantly through professional coaching and carefully designed training programs. We stress proper technique and a tireless work ethic, from beginning programs to rec leagues, travel clubs to summer programs. We develop the young and experienced players alike. Next Level Lacrosse has a rich tradition of running the best middle and high school lacrosse leagues in the DMV area. You will find us at www.nextlevelspartans.com or call 240-497-1460.
Body and Beyond Wellness is acupuncture and wellness consulting. Our peaceful oasis is nestled just outside the Washington, D.C. Beltway. Our acupuncture treatments, workshops, and other wellness offerings will have you feeling restored, renewed, and revived. A limited appointment schedule is now available, but you must call in advance to schedule. Call 301-758-7980 or visit www.thebodyandbeyond.com for more info.
Winsight Media. Winsight delivers connections and intelligence to four of the fastest growing verticals: convenience retailing, grocery businesses, restaurants, and non-commercial food service through broad and cutting-edge platforms. No company is better positioned to meet the food industry's needs than Winsight. Connect with us at www.winsightmedia.com.
Building your brand is an important part of your business growth. By advertising with Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill, you'll gain the exposure and brand recognition behind our podcast. In Season 1, we reached a total of more than 100,000 listeners, viewers, subscribers, and website visitors combined. Your company will benefit from our popularity online and during the podcast. Advertising with Turner and O'Neill equals exposure on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and more than 15 listening platforms total. Inquire today and let's partner to build your brand.
The Starting Five is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual home buyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
The Starting Five. Welcome back to Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill. I am your host, Kurtis Cross, and as always, I'm with Coach Casey O'Neill, Coach Steve Turner. Our engineer is DJ Krissy. We're up to our weekly Starting Five, 5 questions that I will ask of both coaches. Each coach has 30 seconds to answer each question. They can defer 1 question per Starting Five. If they go over their 30 seconds, DJ Krissy, what will happen?
We know.
Gentlemen, let's do it. Dinner at the White House or at Buckingham Palace? Coach Casey.
White House.
Coach Turner.
White House.
You are the NFL commissioner. What is the first rule you change?
There's a lot that I would change.
You got that deferral if you want it.
I'm deferring.
All right. What's the first rule you change as NFL commissioner?
First, a trusted group of officials who can recall and throw the flag on pass interference because they get it wrong every single time. The pass interference rule, it's got to be fixed.
Okay. Coach Turner, back to you on that one.
Among many other.
Live eyes should be able to make the decisions on the field. I'm tired of replay.
Okay. Ooh. Tired of replay. All right, coming back to you because it was him and you, then him and you. You've got a racehorse. What do you name that racehorse? I will tell you now, I've always had this bucket list dream. You'll love this. My racehorse will be named Sarah Smile. That's Hall & Oates, right?
Hall & Oates, baby.
It'll be either Sarah Smile or Sarah's Smile. That's what my horse will be named. What is yours, Casey?
You know what? I love the show when I was a kid, Buck Rogers. I call that horse Buck Rogers.
All right. And what do you call your horse?
Man, I guess it's going to have to be my signature. Stick it.
All right. Coming back to you.
I ain't giving you a fist bump for that.
Full ownership of a NASCAR team or 20% stake in the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Give me the NASCAR team.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You know what time it is. We need to get a graphic for rapid fire. We'll get one of those one day. Casey, more likely to get a tech, you or Coach Turner?
Coach Turner.
One thing you collected as a kid?
Baseball cards.
A month in jail with visitation or a week camping in the desert by yourself? Remember, you get 3 squares in jail and cable TV.
Yeah.
And climate control.
I'll take the desert. I'll take the desert.
Rewind the clock 5 years on family life or fast forward a year from now?
5 years, rewind.
All right, no microwave or no on-demand TV?
No microwave.
All right, coming to you, sir. Your ideal man cave or your ideal outdoor living space? What would you rather have?
It's a tough one.
All right.
It's rapid fire. Go.
Man cave.
Choose your life coach, Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates?
Oprah.
No internet, cell, or TV for a week. Or no college hoops for the month of March. Remember, the final game is played in April.
You can take all that internet and cell and all that stuff.
That's a good one.
You are president. Free health care or free education for everyone?
Free healthcare.
A gift for Leah. Who do you get to serenade her? Just so you know, I had Brian McKnight send one of those, what do you call them, cameos to Paula one time.
Is it me?
I'm just saying, I was in chamber choir.
Is it the 3 of us?
Marvin Gaye.
Oh, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting 5. The starting 5.
Let's get social. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube, search Turner and O'Neill and click subscribe.
Be sure to listen now at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or Google Podcasts. Download the app and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode of Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill.
Healthy Baller is dedicated to developing athletes at any level through customized programs created by their world-class trainers. Healthy Baller creates an unparalleled training experience centered around the athlete and coach relationship. Between their physical therapy team and strength and conditioning staff, they create an all-encompassing process to help injured athletes return to the field. For the young athlete, Healthy Baller is an excellent training and confidence builder. Paula and I personally know this as our children attend Healthy Baller twice each week. With Blair and Molly training our 12 and 10-year-olds, we can personally vouch for their expert training and dedication to each athlete. Call 844-622-5537 or visit healthyballer.com and tell them Kurtis and Paula sent you.
This segment of Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by...
From Washington, D.C. to Ocean City, Woodbridge to Columbia, Richmond to Virginia Beach, the hottest DJs are right here. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Current social distancing does not allow for event gatherings in the traditional sense. When it's time to plan your bar or bat mitzvah, office party, sweet 16, or any event, we've got your party solution. Dynamic DJ Entertainment is your virtual event experts. Our virtual events division has perfected an entertainment experience like none other. We bring the celebration to you. Contact us for virtual trivia, office parties, nightclub nights, or any virtual event. Dynamic DJ Entertainment is your virtual event solution. Visit www.mapdja.com or call 301-942-4500.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest was hired by Gonzaga College High School in 2014 to lead the school's football program. Since that time, Randy Travers has found success on I Street with one WCSC championship and back-to-back DCSAA titles. Coach Travers was named USA Today's All-USA Football Coach of the Year in 2018. Here to take a TO with us today, please welcome Coach Randy Travers. Hey, Coach, how's it going today?
Fantastic. And boy, I appreciate the applause. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Always.
Now, you don't know me, but I'm thrilled to have you join the podcast. I do believe, however, you know the gentleman in the studio with me. Gentlemen, please greet Coach Travers.
Randy, it's your buddy Casey. Just saw you a few hours ago. Welcome to the podcast. We are pumped to have you on here, my friend.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. I will tell you, though, my round of applause, not nearly as big as the round of applause they give for Coach Casey O'Neill.
Let's go.
When they announce his name, man. But there's another guy sitting next to you, I think.
Yep.
And he gets 3 times the applause than Casey O'Neill and Randy Travers. So we don't want to even ask them because we'll be sitting here and we won't have any opportunity to interview because they'll be cheering for the next 20, 30 minutes for Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. All right, so
Appreciate you, Coach, and thank you for coming on with us today. But the cheers and all the applause go to you. You're the guy that got it done this year, 5-0, whipping up on all the WCAC.
Yeah, he did. I saw the scores. Coach, we talk a lot about success in coaching. Of course, that looks different to each coach we interview. For you and your program, what does success look like for Coach Travers?
Oh, man. Well, that's a heck of a question. I think success comes in a lot of different forms, a lot of different ways. Of course, the result of winning is one of those things. But what I love to think is that, and I just told some young men today, that it's most important that you prepare and you invest and you prepare a certain way each and every day. And if we do that, then there's a level of success and satisfaction that sort of takes care of the result piece. But as a coach and a mentor and a teacher, you just hope that the day-to-day, everybody involved in your operation just realizes that, hey, today I want to be the absolute best that I can be for my teammates, for my program, to represent the institution a certain way. And if guys are doing that the right way, then good things can happen. And I think that is ultimately the success that you look for as a teacher. It's like being a dad. You know, all of us here, we think about, we want our kids to do the best they can. And we're going to love them, regardless if they win the game or they don't, they get an A or they get a B. But man, can they do their homework every day and go to practice and do the best they can at practice every day? And that's what you hope for success-wise for me as a coach. And then you hope that the results kind of take care of themselves. And I think that over the course of time, you see that's what happens. You end up winning more than you lose.
Right.
You know?
Coach Steve Turner here.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, Coach. You've had a lot of success at a lot of different places. You've coached at different levels, high school, college. You've played the game at many different levels, all the way from the Wheaton Boys and Girls Club days to playing in high school to playing in college. Give me the core pillars that you've brought with you to Gonzaga from the different places that you've been at to say that this is who our team is going to be and what we expect from them. You know, what are those core principles?
Yeah, no, great question, Coach. And I appreciate you guys for all these nice compliments. Listen, when I think about like you said, the core pillars or principles, like a foundation at the heart of what we try to do with the program. We have a couple things, and one is this idea of we say NEF, NEF, and the NEF being that sort of now, embrace, finish. And when I tell people that are getting to become a part of our program, whether it's a coach that's coming in new or a player, hey, listen, we want to win. And I'm a competitive guy. I love winning, and we want to be the best, but never at all costs. We're always going to do things a certain way and never compromise the values and the principles and the things that we think are most important for the greater glory. So it's an idea of now, embrace, finish is this core that we can always come back to in the sense that the day to day, like I was talking earlier, being able to stay and live in the moment. I think it's just a great life lesson that you can't dwell on yesterday, good or bad, too much. You can't focus too much on the future of what you want without handling the now. So you can always create the right memories by living in the moment. And then the embrace piece, just that whole idea of circumstances are going to be inevitable. But it's how you deal with these circumstances that are going to allow for success. So just the whole idea of, hey, it's going to rain, it's going to be cold, it's going to be blazing hot, whatever it is. We can't deal with that. But hey, let's flip it in our minds. Let's embrace those circumstances, whatever they are. Let's not be afraid of them. Let's not run from them. Let's have that be what we love, these types of challenges. And in doing that, we embrace one another, because the beauty of basketball, lacrosse, football, all the worlds that we live in on this call is they're team sports. And when you're talking about a team sport, man, you need that guy next to you and in front of you and behind you as much as you need yourself. So embracing that. And then the finish is just, I got done telling some young freshmen that, listen, I don't care how tall you are, how fast you are, how short you are, how heavy you are, how strong you are, how much experience you have, but I do care that you try your best. You empty your tank and you give your very best, because it takes no talent to be the hardest worker, to be the most invested in terms of your effort every day. So we always try to come back to that now, embrace, finish as a core of who we are and how we can be successful.
Randy, it's Casey here, and love that answer. Steve, actually, I knew when he asked it that was going to allude into my question about NEF, but you said some great things in talking about moments. And is there ever a moment you can go back in your career as a head coach where, and we all know as head coaches that we want to make the calls, we want it to go the way we feel it should. However, with different circumstances, we have to start trusting other people, especially our assistant coaches. And is there ever a moment where you had to take a step back and start to give more responsibility to your assistant coaches? Because you have a great staff and you always interview and bring in wonderful, wonderful people to coach these young men. But was there ever a moment where you said, wait a minute, I got to take a step back and give these assistants more of a role and then let them run with it? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. And you're absolutely right, Coach, that I've been blessed throughout my career to have really, really exceptional assistant coaches. And in success in team sports, and particularly in football, it takes a lot of different folks and contributions. And I've been very lucky to have very good players, very good coaches that have helped to have, in the end, some successful teams. So the idea of being able to delegate or to be able to recognize that this person has great acumen or expertise, and allowing them to spread their wings and be very good at what they do, and being able to support and cultivate that. I think that's a very important piece of when we're dealing with good players and good coaches. And you bring up the word trust. So, for me and for us, I say there's probably nothing more important than trust for collective success of an organization. Because ultimately, it's easy for Casey and Steve and Randy to be at the party when the music's playing and the food and beverages are tasty and the weather is great. It's easy for us to have a good time, high-fiving, be on the dance floor. And I know I couldn't keep up on the dance floor with Casey O'Neal or Steve Turner, by the way. But I'd be trying my best. All right? I'd be trying my best. All right? I'd be neffing it. There you
go,
right?
Coach. There you go, Coach.
But my point is this, that trust isn't built in those situations. We can all be buddies then. But when the music goes a little bit sour and the food and the beverages aren't tasting as good and things aren't going as well with my two-step out there, then all of a sudden certain things kick in, like human nature things that aren't necessarily the best things for us, like selfishness, things such as, I've got to make sure that I survive regardless of what happens to this other person over here. So it's building trust is critical, because we know in basketball, in lacrosse, and in football, our team is not always going to be ahead. We're not always going to be up. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. So what happens when the poop hits the fan, as they say? Well, we better have a sense of trust in certain people to do certain things, a certain belief. And we talk about something called T3 in our program, and it's really going through tough things together to get trust. All right, so if you forge a relationship, a friendship, a marriage, a brotherhood, by not just having fun at the party, but it's going through something tough together, so that when challenged, there's a trust that you have in one another that can carry you through. So no doubt, and over the course of my career, I've been fortunate to have talented players, talented coaches that we've been able to grind through things together to develop a sense of toughness and trust. Look, real quick, the best example of that I could say to you, my first year as a head football coach, 1998, Northwest High School. Guys, we come out the first play of the season, of the school history, kickoff, 98-yard kickoff return, touchdown, first play ever. All right, you want to talk about excitement? The whole staff, the program is in the end zone, penalty flags everywhere, expect a celebration, right? All right,
oh, that's great.
But here's the kicker, guys. That wasn't the bad flag was the one on the opposite 5-yard line because there's an illegal block. So the point of the story is that was the last time we would score that night or even get close to the end zone, as we got shut out and we lost. The next week, our second game, we get blasted, shut out again. The third week, we get beat by 40. Actually, we scored first, though, baby. We scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Our first points in the history of the school, 8 points. We get beat 48-something to 8. The next week, the team hangs 60-something on us. You get my point. Yeah. 5th week, we get beat, running clock. 6th week, running clock. 7th week, running clock. The beauty of this team, guys, is the 8th week of the season, we got our first victory in the school history. The 9th week, we got our second victory in the school history. The 10th week, we hung in there, we battled, we didn't win. But we went 2-8, and a lot of times the wheels fall off on a team if you don't do well in the beginning. Like that party I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
When things get a little bit hectic, the trust leaves. We were blessed, and I always try to use that as a story for all of my coaches and to harken back to is that even though that was my only my losing season in my career, as far as on the more losses than wins, it's one of maybe the most successful seasons that I've ever had, because the way we won and the way we hung in there, the trust that Coach O'Neill's talking about was a part of being able to win in week 8 and week 9. And and guess what? The next year we went 9 games, 9 of the 10. We were very, but it was trust. You got to go through some tough times together to get there, and it's always nice to have talented coaches and talented players, as you said, Coach O'Neill, because I'm not really that good. I just get good people that work hard and work together, and that's been the key.
Coach Travers, just so you know, I've seen some of those teams you had up in Germantown. I have some friends who had some sons that played for you, so I've seen that success over here in Montgomery County. But talk to me about this. You guys went 5-0. With a shorter offseason now than normal, again, preparation will become important. Off-season workouts, maintaining the focus needed to be competitive in the WCAC, and I know you have some out-of-conference things going on. How are you gearing up now with a shorter off-season for next? I assume, are you guys going to start in August with games again?
Back to normal.
You're back to a normal schedule. Yeah, so
that's right.
So you don't have from December through July to get ready. You have June and July, and then August. Here we are. So how does that shortened off-season affect what you do?
Yeah, no, the pro and con. It's a great question. So the idea that we played a 5-game spring season, it's tough because the turnaround is so quick.
Yeah.
But it's also so in a longer off season, you have more time to build your guys physically and mentally. You can be more patient, but you also have a lot more time where you're sort of unknown. So you hope that this guy that you're building is going to be able to do it 8 months later. Here, we at least know that we had live bullets, so to speak, in April, as late as April. So we're going to be playing in August. So we kind of, for certain guys, we know that, okay, this guy can do it, and this guy can do it, sort of thing. So it's just more of a matter right now of making sure that with certain things where you have some staff turnover or player turnover at certain positions where guys are matriculated out to graduation, we want to make sure we're intentional in terms of how we adjust and move forward, and then the physical and mental aspect of it. So the idea that a lot of times you have more time to shut the batteries down, recharge, and then build back up, where this one, it was like basically 6 weeks from the last game to when we start, getting the guys back training again, because you got to have enough time to get them physically and mentally prepared for the grind of a season. So that's a little bit different for sure, but we're excited, and we were so blessed to play some games in the spring, and the success that the kids were able to have was a lot bigger than the wins and losses. It was, as all of us know, with COVID, how badly it impacted us in so many ways, psychologically, emotionally. So we're happy that things are progressing back to more normalcy as far as COVID guidelines, restrictions, and how we can do football more in a normal rhythm. So we're happy about that.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I've asked a number of our guests this same question, and I'd love to hear your answer on this. Do you have a quote or a passage from the Bible that kind of resonates with you, to who you are and what you're about as you coach the young men that you do on I Street? Like, is there like that one quote, or is that one, Bible passage that resonates with you when you think about who you are and who you've become as a coach? Again, resonating with coaching these young men up?
I really don't have a specific quote or passage, but when you think about the Bible and you think about Christ and you think about things, there's one word that kind of comes to mind, and we think of some of the Bible verses or passages, but that word to me is L-O-V, is love. Mm. And so when you think about what sort of drives certain things from a spiritual sense, I don't think there's anything that you could say is more powerful than love. To live your life as a man for others, as we say at Gonzaga, to live a mission, like a Christ-like mission, where your heart it leads you. And it's about love, and I like to think that love is not just a word, but and not just an emotion, but it's action. Being men of deeds, as opposed to just men of words. And love is one thing that immediately comes to mind when I think of the Bible, when I think of the mission. When I think of how that is the fuel oftentimes for if our spirit is in the right place and our hearts are full of love for those that we're working for, those that we're sacrificing, committed to, man, nothing can stop you. There's nothing more powerful than love, baby.
I love it. Thank you, Coach.
And I love me some Casey O'Neal, and I love me some Steve Turner.
Randy, I appreciate that. We love you too. This is my last question. So we're going to fast forward into the future here. There's 10 minutes on that clock on Buchanan Field for the first Friday night game in what feels like an eternity on our home field. You're sitting in the locker room. Actually, you're not sitting. You're standing there, and there's about 70 young men, sweaty, a little nervous, got the eye black on. Yeah. They're taking a knee or they're sitting on the bench, and they're looking at you. And we are 10 minutes from the opening kickoff to the 2021 fall season. What is Coach T about to deliver to these young men to get them rocking?
Oh, man. Well, it's going to – I'll tell you what. One thing is going to come from, as I said, a place of love. Yep. And if I can sort of think about how incredibly inspirational it was to get to that point in the spring, to be able to play a football game when we didn't know if we would ever have that opportunity again with that particular group. That's where my mind kind of goes back there, and just the appreciation for having that opportunity to, okay, man, we're going to play a real football game here in March. And so I think about fast forwarding, like you're saying, Case, you're saying, man, what are you about to say to the group, and how will you feel? I just think about finally getting back to playing on Buchanan Field and with fans, and playing football the way that we sometimes we take for granted just how awesome it is to have sports in that sense, the way that we have them. So to be back in that mode, man, I just think the appreciation, so thinking about how much I appreciated the opportunities to do the 5 games this spring, and thinking about my appreciation to be able to come back to live football in the heart of Washington, D.C., Buchanan Field, with the purple fans packing the place, how awesome that would be. And the parents and the families to be able to see the kids play, and the kids to be able to play the game they love together. There probably won't be a whole lot that I would have to say
right.
to the group. They'll be able to see it in my eyes. They'll be able to see it in each other's eyes. It might be one of those pregame speeches where it's simply me standing there and in front of the young men, and them looking at me, and them probably seeing a tear or two run down my face, and but knowing what that means, knowing that we share that love, we share that emotion, share the anticipation of man, and how long it's been, and how hard we've worked, and how much we've invested for this moment in 10 minutes, all right, to get out there and do what we love to do together, for the greater glory and for the love of each other, and for the purple, baby, for the G.
Let's
go. We're going out there and do our thing, so absolutely. So it's going to be, that'll be an awesome moment. It will be. And just like it will be for my my two guys on here as well. I think we can all relate to that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, we have something here on the podcast called The Starting Five. This is where I ask Steve and Casey 5 questions, and they have 30 seconds to answer each question. When it comes to our guests, we simply ask one question. Now, if you don't answer in 30 seconds, DJ Krissy will do this. And you don't want to get dinged, Coach. I don't know if season 2, have we had a guest get dinged yet?
No guest.
I don't know if we've had a guest. So you don't want to be the first, Coach Travers. All right.
I might be the first, man.
Well, here's
I've been
your
the first
question.
at a couple things, some good, some bad.
Well, here's your question. All right. Take the ball out of Caleb Williams' hands. Name the pro or college quarterback who you choose to make that pass that Caleb made that we all know about now to win the championship. Who's throwing that pass? College or pro quarterback?
It's a good question.
Clock's running.
Clock's running, brother.
Yeah, I know it, baby. I know it. You know what? I got to go with the greatest winner in the league. You got to go with Tom Brady. To me, you say Caleb Williams hit that pass. Caleb Williams, man, he's clutch. He's a winner. But who? You could say what you want about Tom Brady. You could put, what is his velocity? The bottom line, this dude is a winner.
Right.
So if there's one guy that you want to win in a situation at that position or make a throw, I got to take that dude, Tom Brady.
All right, Coach, look.
29 seconds. You just got it.
I'm going to tell you.
I didn't get zinged.
There's a couple things I want to say about this interview today. Number one, I want to go to the party where Steve and Casey are dancing and you guys are all dancing. I want to go to that party. And number two, Coach, look, I'm in my 40s. I want to put a helmet on for you right now and run out on that field. The way you're talking about your pregame speech. Now, what's going to happen is I may or may not make it to the field because I'm, out of shape now. And I'm going to tell you, I looked at some of the Gonzaga Touchdown Club Instagram or some of the photos on Facebook. You got some big youngins. As soon as I get hit by one of them youngins, I will think twice about running on that field. But look, we thank you for taking the TO with us today. Please tell our audience how they can connect with Gonzaga football. I know there's a Facebook page for the Touchdown Club or what have you, but how can they connect with Gonzaga football, sir?
Well, I think the best way that I would say now that we are post-pandemic, but man, with the light is here, baby. All right, the clouds are lifted. I'd say come on out to Buchanan Field and see the Eagles soar and fly as high as we can. I think that is the best way to let's get reconnected as the way that we're supposed to as human beings, man, to be in the same physical space and to be able to see people smile and to be able to hear people laugh and to hear the cheers and to do it in unison together. So
you didn't mention the hot dogs, Coach.
Man.
What about the hot dogs, Coach? Can we get some of those too?
They cook a few good ones.
Oh yeah, burgers, dogs, you name it. No doubt.
Italian store
that's what I say. Number one.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what'd you say, Coach Turner?
Coach, I said the Italian stores, pizza slices.
Yeah, we need those. We need those too.
Well, Coach Travers, we appreciate your time. Thank you for doing what you do. I always have to thank the guests, even though I don't know you. Thank you for helping to propel these young men to becoming better young men, and as you say on I Street, men for others. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach for Gonzaga College High School's Purple Eagles football program, Mr. Randy Trivers.
Thanks, Randy.
Coach T, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, fellas. Hey, appreciate you guys big time. Love you guys. Thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate you.
Hey, and by the way,
God bless everybody.
Your big fella Didi, he's looking great on the court.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
Thanks, fella.
See you, Coach.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
All right.
We will be
Randy
back.
brings it. He brings it. He brings it. My guy.
We will be back after these messages.
Since 1939, the Collins family has served families of Montgomery County and Greater Washington with dignified professional service in their time of need. We continue the same family tradition today at our funeral home located just off the Beltway in Silver Spring, Maryland. Our family of experienced funeral directors stand ready to assist you around the clock, 365 days a year. Whether you wish to pre-plan or you have experienced a loss, please contact us to discuss how we can assist you at your time of need. Call 301-593-9500 or visit collinsfuneralhome.com.
O'Neill Development is a custom builder in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and the Eastern Shore. Recognized nationally as a premier builder, O'Neill Development has received awards for historic restoration and urban infill work. Committed to best practices in green building, O'Neill Development also provides support in budgeting, architect selection, and design development during the critical stages of planning. O'Neill Development, building, remodeling, and development since 1975. Find us at www.o'neilldev.com or call 301-840-9310. This segment of Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
The Tamara Cusick Team. Ready, set, sold. Real estate is more than just houses. It's about people too. The Tamara Cusick Team offers an all-inclusive approach, making the home buying and selling process efficient, financially smart, and stress-free for you. From home prep-up to complimentary staging, expert counsel to an experienced and qualified team of professionals, let's chat houses. The Tamara Cusick Team isn't just a partner. They literally sold us the home where the Take a TO broadcasts from each week. Visit www.tamara4homes, that's the number 4.com, or call 301-780-4663.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill. We are back with Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill. Thanks for listening and watching as we enjoy meeting you here each week. Coach Randy Travers, excellent interview with his success prior to Gonzaga and, of course, with what he accomplished at Gonzaga. Again, before Gonzaga, we heard from him a similar theme to what we've heard from other coaches who we've had on the podcast. You know, it's not necessarily about the wins. He wants you to win that play, win that day. You know, the results will take care of themselves. And, you know, I think there are folks out there who say, well, it's easy for you to say because y'all always win. But it's the results will take care of themselves. You know, I heard a story about Coach Wooden and Coach Morgan Wooten where they never really discussed winning or losing the game. But it's let's go out there and do the winning will take care of itself if we play, you know, Gonzaga basketball or if we play Gonzaga lacrosse. Coach O'Neill, what were you able to extract from, I mean, you already know the guy.
I see him. I see it every day.
Right.
Every day, every night, every morning. Man works his tail off. Steve sees it.
Does he have an off button?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. He does
and
not.
What's best about Coach Travers is
I take that back. I think
you flip a switch and it's, you know, outside of football, outside of competing, and just the man, the father, the teacher he is. He's a wonderful teacher.
English, I think,
yeah,
right?
Students love him. He's just an incredible person to just have a conversation and break bread with and just chat about anything. And anything at all.
He can go to a party where he doesn't know anybody and make friends, can't he?
Oh, for sure.
He's locked in. So we see it all the time. It's great for our audience, for young people, and other aspiring coaches, whether you're assistants or head coaches, and still building your program or your organization, to hear somebody like Randy talk. Because those are the type of mentors and people you want to be in a meeting with. You want to hear about stories that he was telling about his first year at Northwest. I mean, Randy's got thousands of stories like that.
Right.
We are blessed to work with him and to have kids that cross over, that play for myself or for you and that play for Randy, but to be colleagues and just enjoy the time and see the work he puts in. It very, very beneficial for our listeners to hear that interview and to go down and watch a game and watch him coach. I mean, he's a professional through and through. He's got the tie on the
I've
sideline.
seen, yeah.
He's got the hat looking sharp, but great man, and I'm glad we had him on.
What do you take out of this interview? And you guys are bringing dynamic guests from Gonzaga.
I don't know if it's just from the interview. I think it's just as from the relationship that I've been able to grow and build with Randy, is his ability to be a tireless worker. Like, there's so many times that I see him on I Street and I'm telling him, like, dude, go home. Like, go home. But he is so vested in his kids and the kids who play in that program. And it's not just the varsity kids. It's the kids who play on all levels. If they're in that program, Randy's got their back, and he's going to do everything in his power to give them an opportunity to be the best version of themselves that they can be, and give them the best opportunity to use this sport to gain a great education down on I Street and have an opportunity to go to college. And it's one of the things I respect so much about him. And then like Casey alluded to, is those opportunities just to talk. Doesn't have to be about hoops, doesn't have to be about football. A lot of times my conversation with him is about life and kids and our families, and the perspective that he can give you on certain things, and the way that he makes you think outside the box. I don't know that you can put a price tag on it. Like, it's something that's just God-given, and it's something that I respect so much about Randy. I like to say he's the mad scientist, because every year he figures out how to beat the best of the best. And it doesn't matter what the group he has is, how talented they are, from just a God-given talent. Him and his coaching staff make those kids better every single day, and they work and they grind. And I think the thing that I think is probably most special about Randy is he's really, truly teaching our men on I Street to be men for others, and he's teaching them through football about life.
Here's the thing. I saw some scores, some box scores, some stats, some season storylines, and at least in one of those championship runs, he had to come back in the postseason and beat folks who he had lost to, or his team had lost to. But we're talking about going through DeMatha, St. John's, and Good Counsel, who historically have good programs.
Nationally ranked programs.
Yes. Yeah, we know Pat over at St. John's. He's not turning it around, but he's now taking over the program.
Great guy.
But DeMatha, it was he came back.
It was Elijah Brooks.
But now you got Bill McGregor's back.
Bill McGregor's back, and I don't know who's at Good Counsel, but what I do know is I see them on ESPN.
Stefanelli.
Yeah, so they're worth watching, right?
Who replaced Bob Malloy?
Bob Malloy. Yeah, I remember Malloy.
Who and you talk to Randy and all those guys. Again, it's like we have Mike Jones on or other lacrosse. I mean, everyone thinks it's this big rivalry. Those coaches talk. They're very friendly.
How
they know
fortunate
each other.
are we to have these names in the DMV?
Just this area,
homegrown.
Yeah,
homegrown guys too. That's what's amazing.
I mean, there's just an influx of talented young athletes. But what I love about Randy is I don't care how tall you are, I don't care how fast you are. Are you going to give me effort every single day? And we always say it, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard.
There you go.
And that's
so we appreciate having Coach Travers on the call. It makes me want to go down there and watch. I mean, you got me watching lacrosse, and now I want to come see you guys play. I've seen his boys play.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got to go see some football.
Well,
but is there going to be a hamburger on the grill for me? That's all I need to know.
They're going to have
they do it up. They do it up out there.
But you can find some. I mean, whether it's Good Counsel on a Friday night down at Gonzaga on a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon, a St. John's game, a DeMatha game. They're usually playing over there by FedEx Field in the PG Sports.
I call the games.
Oh, so you see all that.
Catholic U.
There's nothing like being down
with the buildings surrounding
on Buchanan Field.
Yeah, I mean,
I
call games at Catholic, but I gotta imagine that's different because it's the city.
The guy that can make sure you can call the games is right here. Here he is.
Right, I called DeMatha games. Can I get a call? Can I get a call?
Here can help you get some calls.
Can I get a call? I might have something in the works though.
Chris,
I might have something in the works.
Take us to break.
You just got paid for that one, dude. You just got paid for that one.
I got you.
We are coming right back with our weekly sports wrap-up. DJ Krissy. Let's do it.
Let's get social. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and then click subscribe.
Become a friend of the program. Friendship contributions start at just $25. Each contribution helps to fuel Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. To find out more or make your contribution, go to www.turnerando'neill.com and click Become a Friend.
At Peace Players, we use the power of sport to unite, educate, and inspire young people to create a more peaceful world. We offer sport programming, peace education, and leadership development to those living in communities in conflict. We challenge the hate that is driven by the fear of our differences. We bridge divides between people through the game of basketball, and we develop young leaders who help to change perceptions. Find out more at www.peaceplayers.org. This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual home buyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. This week's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Now let's get ready to wrap this baby up with our weekly sports wrap-up. Last week we sort of skipped over sports talk in lieu of our big brother's birthday, so we've got some catching up to do. Let's do it. Coach K is calling it a career after 40 seasons with the Blue Devils at Duke, compiling nearly 1,100 wins at Duke alone and just short of 1,200 wins total in his coaching career. He is the winningest coach in Division I men's history as his tenure comes to an end. What does Coach K mean to college basketball, USA basketball, and the blueprint of basketball in general, Coach Casey?
My feeling on Coach K, yes, he's an icon. Yes, he gives a good interview. Yes, from the outside, he looks like this wonderful guy. But you know what? If you sat anywhere near Coach K, and I never had tickets that good,
Right.
but you know how he gets into it with the refs. You know how, because he looks like this perfect icon. And that just makes him more normal and cool to me, to be honest with you. Growing up in the Maryland area, obviously there's a lot
Couldn't
of...
like him.
You couldn't like him, couldn't like the Blue Devils. I turned a page when I got to meet Coach K, walked him into the Carmody Center. He was coming to watch Tyler Thornton. We sat him down in a seat behind your bench, and he was couldn't have been a nicer guy, couldn't have been a better gentleman. For basketball, I think all the awards and Hall of Fame and things, he deserves it. I think he's done it the right way. He did it his way, and despite how you feel about Duke and Duke basketball, Coach K to me is a legend and somebody that I would... Hey, I think Mount Rushmore top 10 that I think it would be cool to play golf with, have dinner, do stuff like that. So I hope he has a wonderful, wonderful retirement.
He's 74. Coach Turner, he's been on I Street. You've had conversations with him, not just for Tyler, but for other players and other reasons. He is Team USA alum. I think he's no longer with Team USA, but he's done some great things for that program and basketball in general. Your thoughts on Coach K calling it a career?
Certainly going to miss seeing him when he does step down after this upcoming season. Ability to be able to have some conversations with him, especially through his recruitment of Tyler, being able to go down down there on Tobacco Road and get over to Cameron and see practices and watch him, masterfully build his teams and get guys, especially because of the talent level he gets, getting guys to buy in. To check egos at the door, It's a beautiful thing to be able to watch, and it's why he's had so much success. I mean, people forget he didn't start off as a winner.
Yeah, over at Navy, Army?
Army.
No,
Army.
but I'm
Yeah.
speaking just
At
when he
Duke.
got to Duke.
Okay.
They won a winner right away, and it's pretty neat. His winning started with a couple guys from the DMV,
Okay.
Tommy Amaker, Johnny Dawkins, like to see guys like from our area and can recognize
Contribute to that.
they contribute to his ascending to where he is today. They were a part of that start. Is pretty special. But the culture he's been able to bring not just to Duke but to USA basketball, to be able to, even with USA basketball, get big time guys
15 guys
to check their egos at the door,
Right.
and to buy into playing for the name across their chest,
which might equal 6 minutes a game.
right. I mean, you're talking about some of the best
When
in the
you're
world.
playing 40.
Right, the best
Yeah.
in the world. But they all buy in, and they all love the man. And I know that the guys over there in College Park, they're not all big fans of him, but they have to respect what he's done. And I'm grateful to have had a kid play for him, and grateful to have had opportunities to meet and speak with him, and hopefully be able to, when he does sit it down, hopefully be able to have a way to be able to still check in and have some conversation with him, because I know there's so much more that I can learn from him.
So I've never been a Coach K fan until I saw some behind-the-scenes stuff with him in USA Basketball. They have, I can't remember what NBA TV calls it, but they'll call it real something. And the whole practice, they'll have guys on the sidelines, but he said, let's tune in to Coach K now. And they did that with USA Basketball. And to hear him, and he's not a screamer, he's not this thing. All right, guys, let's run 3-on-2, 2-on-1, blah, blah, blah. And no, Carmelo, you're going to be here, and I need you to do, it's just interesting. And that's where seeing him with the X's and O's or on the court stuff, I'm like, I can respect the basketball mind, even though he's with Duke and not Maryland. I'm not a huge Maryland fan either. I grew up a Hoyas fan, but I got to root for Maryland over Duke. So that's when my respect for him, really jumped up, being able to see that behind the scenes kind of thing there. Let's turn our attention, NBA playoffs, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. It's going to get interesting in the East. Now that James Harden is unavailable and Kyrie went down yesterday with the same ankle that he stomped on the Celtics logo with, Karma. Coach Turner, you've pointed to injuries as a game changer when it comes to a team's ability to find their success come playoffs time. Is Kyrie, if he's unable to give it a go in Tuesday's matchup, and right now I'm hearing he's not going to go, is Brooklyn in trouble?
That thing looked nasty.
Without having two of the three, I think Brooklyn's trouble. We said it. The only thing that was going to hurt some of the teams that we expected to be there in the end would be injuries.
And Lakers found that out.
Lakers found it out, and it's unfortunate because you guys know how I love KD. I want to see him keep moving forward. I hate to say it, but they're in trouble.
Right, and hopefully if it's just one game, maybe Kyrie comes back and then we're back to
if it's
even
one
keel.
game, but we are allowing Milwaukee to build momentum, and that's a tough thing because you watch those first two games. Brooklyn was in total control.
It's 2-2 now, right?
It's 2-2.
Why can't this be KD's moment for all the naysayers, all the haters, because he had to go to Golden State
or whatever,
and then bring in KD and excuse me, not KD, but Kyrie and James Harden. This is his time. This is his. I honestly
Can he do it on his own though?
Well, a lot of other players have.
Name me one.
LeBron.
Did it on his own?
Well,
he had
okay.
Chris Bosh and D Wade.
Okay,
MJ did it
but
on his own,
he's
baby.
the top guy.
Right.
He's MJ did it on his own. In a way, Kobe did when Shaq left. He did it.
You
on
mean
his own.
Andrew Bynum wasn't your all-star perennial Hall of Famer?
No, I think this is, if you want to be considered in that conversation with
Well,
LeBron
I think
and Michael, it just in the realm. Not this is the
His
time.
moment?
I think
Magic
I
did it.
think the only thing that comes to hurt them though,
It's not like they don't
is
have other
that
players.
They do have other players, but they have not been a great defensive
Yeah,
team.
they don't defend well, and
when
Kyrie
you don't
helps
have
that.
that second guy
Well-
to score the ball like a Kyrie or James Harden could do to go with KD, I still think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Even if he comes out, goes for 40, 50, I just don't.
Right,
I think they got to
gotta
have
stop
one
the
other
ball.
guy
Saying.
step it up. Now if Harris can shoot the ball like he was shooting it early and can
Shoot
be
it
that
last
guy,
year
go
before.
get them like 20.
Right.
Then yeah, it's cute. KD can find a way to get it done.
Yeah. Phoenix made light work of Denver and the MVP Jokic. What are your thoughts on the Utah Clippers series?
Coach,
Donovan
Those
Mitchell's
games
a
are
bad
too late
boy.
for this guy.
Donovan Mitchell is
he's
a
the one
bad boy.
Donovan Mitchell is growing.
Devin or Donovan?
Donovan.
Donovan, sorry. Okay.
He's growing in front of our face every single time he steps on the court.
Who you telling?
I'd like to see this one just go all the distance.
The distance?
I'd like to see this series go the distance.
Okay.
You know, there's still two bad boys over there with the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. They got to show up every night, though.
And that's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
You took the words out of my mouth. If they show up every single night, they can win this series.
Because Paul George would go 4 for 17.
Right.
You know?
They've got to show up every night. But I like to see this one go the distance.
I'm going to tell you what. Kawhi is an undercover dunker. When he attacks the rim, he attacks the rim.
He got this big ass
That big claw, and he just throwing it down. It doesn't even, when they show it in slow motion, it doesn't even look like a conventional dunk because he's like putting his, it's ridiculous. Do the Hawks have a shot against the Sixers?
I think so.
You think
I
so?
think
What?
so, that they got a shot against
Playing
the Sixers.
cribbage?
I think they've got a shot.
Playing bocce? What? What do they have a shot
I'm just
at?
answering the question.
Okay.
I think this series could have gone their way if they'd gone up 2-0. They took the first game.
Huh?
And then what?
We're talking NBA basketball.
Yes, I
The
understand.
Philadelphia Warriors / 76ers, right?
Yes, I'm talking.
Versus the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes.
Trey
Yes.
Young and the Hawks.
Trey Young.
Okay, I'm
and,
just making
and
sure.
the Hawks. I'm
Okay.
just saying when the series started that they might have lost their little bit of an edge because they had little injuries over there with the Sixers. They're getting a little bit healthy. But damn right, I think the Hawks got a chance. Come on, Coach.
I would agree. I think the Hawks.
Sixers.
I think the Sixers will ultimately win this series, but I think the Hawks can stretch this thing. I think they can come back here and tie it up at 2.
What's your issue with Atlanta?
No, I just think Philly's too strong. I don't care for either one of the teams. I just think Philly's too strong. Tobias shows up the right way.
Philly's a lot deeper for certain.
Yeah.
But
they're better coached.
But I do think Atlanta can
Sneak another one?
Sneak another one in.
Let's go.
All right. Let's turn our attention to the NHL. I'm ready to say NHFS because isn't that who I call games for? The National High School Football, whatever. NHL playoffs. The Canadians are looking real sharp right now after handling Winnipeg by a total of 14-6 goals versus goals in their North Division playoff matchup. Coach Casey, is that North Division any matchup
So
for what Montreal's now going to see in the Golden Knights?
Well, this is what we've been talking about the whole
You
podcast.
have pointed it out.
These
Yes, sir.
teams have all seen each other, and now we're done with that.
Right.
We're done with those matchups that are only just the teams they've seen the entire
So your scouts better be
season.
good now.
So they better be good. I'll tell you what, Golden Knight took a few lumps to the Avalanche,
Mm-hmm.
and man, they stormed back. That's going to be a tough situation for the Canadians to travel outside of the.
I think the Golden Knights are still favored.
Look, I think the Golden Knights win this. I don't think they're ready for what's coming. Golden Knights have been playing in front of raucous, sold-out crowds in Vegas, and they've started to let fans up there in
And that
Canada.
means something.
It does. And the Canadians, look, talk about rabid fans. They might have the best. Them and the Maple Leafs might have the best fans in all of hockey. But I think the Golden Knights are going to rock and roll. And then moving on to the other, I love these matchups. I think it's great. I can tell you who the NHL wants for ratings.
I'm gonna say
To get to
I'm
the
gonna
Stanley
say,
Cup, they want Montreal and they want the Islanders.
Really, I was gonna go Golden Knight and Islanders. Okay.
Vegas, I don't think they get the same amount of like
They don't
TV
get-
coverage like that.
Right,
You're talking
right, right.
Montreal, it's a whole nother market up there.
Right.
And to get the New
That's
York
true.
Islanders
They-
back in there, these are the right teams.
You got the Islanders and Lightning are already getting after it with the Islanders taking game 1 2-1. Tampa's the consensus favorite to win that series. Are they still in good shape?
Hey, Barry Trotz, all that guy does, he gets late in series, late in rounds. We saw it here in Washington. It still breaks my heart that they didn't give the man money after a Stanley Cup championship.
How do
Just
you
give
do
him
that?
the money that he
How do
wants
you do that?
and let him walk.
Pay the man.
And now he's got them in, not the Eastern Conference Finals, but you know what I mean, the semifinals.
So you're saying back up the Brinks truck.
Just do it. Just do it. I still think the Lightning have too much. And, my prediction is Golden Knights and Lightning, but we'll see.
All right, let's go rapid fire. Jokic tossed in yesterday's game 4. Was that ejection too much? Wind up, impact, follow through,
Well,
and being pissed.
the violence,
Frustration.
the way as violent as it looked, yes, and the connection to the face, yes. Do you want to see that happen? No. Do I believe he was maliciously trying to hurt him? No. I think he was frustrated.
Yeah.
He certainly was trying to go get the ball, but he let his frustration get the better of him. He lost the school.
I'm not saying they should, but were the officials looking at, I don't want there to be retaliation in another minute from another player, and let's just end this right now?
I think they went to the rule. I mean,
I
think they went to the rule, and you watch it on film. It was a violent swing, and you can't do it.
See you.
Case, you got an opinion on that one?
I agree with Coach. See you.
NFL, what are you most excited to see in the 2021 season besides Le'Veon Bell not going to Kansas City?
Extra game.
Yeah.
Right? Extra game. New faces down in Jacksonville. Tennessee, what
Julio.
they're doing. See if Tom Brady and the Bucs can do this thing again.
One more again.
See what's going on up in New England. Quarterback controversies in Green Bay, right? Is he going to be up there?
Has he shown up yet?
No, he hasn't shown up yet.
He ain't showing up.
See what our Washington. I mean, I like what. Well, damn it, we're the king. We're king of off seasons every year.
Yeah,
but I like. I just think it's exciting. I think it's fun for fantasy. See that extra game, and there's some scary teams out west too.
Coach?
Hey, real quick, did you see what Kyler Murray said about? Did you grow up rooting for the Cowboys, your hometown team? Look it up.
Okay.
He said, man, those bums didn't win when I was growing up. Yeah, I mean, he called him out.
Ooh.
Called him out.
The Honey Badger called out Le'Veon today, by the way, about talking about Andy Reid. Are we seeing the next wave? I think I know the answer now. Are we seeing the next wave of NBA greats with Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, and others? They're putting on a show, aren't they?
They definitely are.
And I left out my man from Phoenix.
Booker.
Yeah, I left him out by mistake. Yeah. We're seeing some things, aren't we? And you know what I liked yesterday? When Devin Booker stepped to the Joker to defend his guy yesterday.
Yeah. He stepped to him, but he kept walking back. That's a big boy.
The Joker's a big sucker.
Joker's a big sucker.
But at least he made the effort.
But I love seeing this next wave of greats for the league stepping up in some big moments, and it means that the league will still be in a very good place once some of the guys at the top start moving out.
Jacob deGrom. You gave me some space last week I didn't really use. Jacob deGrom. Are we looking at the elusive pitcher as an MVP candidate? Let's talk about this. As a batter, he has more RBIs than he's given up runs this year. He's given up about 0.56 runs. He has
it's pretty ridiculous.
It's what's happening there, because I think, was it Kershaw? Kershaw may have been the last one to win MVP. I mean, it's hard to think that a guy who plays 1/3 of your games maybe could be MVP.
I don't know about MVP. Cy Young, 100%.
Okay,
but MVP, I mean, there's some
pitchers who have gotten it, but are the bats alive this year?
Well, it all depends on how the Mets, do they stay, the rest of the team stay healthy? How do they finish?
They're not healthy now.
No, there's a lot of unhealthy teams in the NL East. But there are some numbers, some crazy numbers going on from both pitching aspects.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with these 7-inning doubleheaders, which is stupid.
How about my boy from the Phillies?
Which one? The rookie?
Who's hit like...
I mean, all these people
he had 3 games in a row where he's hit
crazy numbers.
Like three had
Multiple
at least 3
homers.
hits.
Yeah.
3 hits.
I mean,
in a game.
A lot of
3 to
things
5 games in a
are
row,
turning
something
heads
crazy.
in MLB. It's going to make July. It's going to make August fun. Hopefully, the NL East can get a little bit tighter. But the Mets,
The NL East is not strong though, because with the Mets, they would be like in one league, they would be in one division, they'd be in 5th place.
well, you're going to get your hot dog tonight.
I
You're
am.
going to see your rivals.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Yes.
Vanessa got me tickets.
Beautiful
We'll be
night.
sitting on the first base line, row D, section 112,
Who you going
212.
with?
I don't know.
The whole fam?
Yeah, the kids don't even know yet. Paula said, look, at 5 o'clock, just tell them, get ready. We're going to the game and roll.
Wow.
So we're going to the
That's
Nats
gonna be
game
awesome.
night. Thank you, Vanessa. They play the Pirates tonight.
They need some curly W's to take with you.
You know what I need? I need me a Ben Chili Bowl hot dog. That's what I need. DJ Krissy, let's hear from our advertisers. We invite your questions, comments, and show ideas. Simply go to www.turnerandoneal.com and click Submit Your Idea.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our partners, sponsors, and donors. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, Peace Players International. Our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other popular podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill.
We are back, and now it's time for our final words, some thanks, and of course, our weekly quote, this week offered by Coach O'Neill. We invite you to become a friend of the program. To do so, go to www.turnerando'neill.com and click Become a Friend. Now is the time to secure your spot as one of our advertisers for Season 3. For as little as $25 per episode, we can help build your brand in front of our audience of thousands each week. 92% of our advertisers returned from Season 1 to Season 2, and now we are confirming returning advertisers with space for new ones. Our growing podcast is the place where you want to build your brand with Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill. Connect with us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and via all podcast platforms to get the episode drop alerts. When a new episode drops, you'll be among the first to know. We encourage you to join the conversation, so write to us with your questions and comments at turnero'neillpodcast@gmail.com. Before we sign off, many thanks to our listeners and viewers. We want you to spread the word, so do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, tell a friend, and we ask that you help us to grow our community. A special thanks to Coach Randy Trivers, today's guest. Thanks also to our engineer, DJ Krissy, you two gentlemen, Coach Turner and Coach O'Neill, and of course, Paula. Thanks to our donors, sponsors, and partners. We encourage our audience to support those who support us. DJ Krissy, what's the word?
We had a great guest. We had everybody back in for Mental Health Monday.
We had laughs.
We had a lot of laughs.
And I'm getting a half smoke tonight.
Let's go.
All right, Coach O'Neill, or excuse me, Coach Turner, we'll go to you. You were last. Coach Turner, your thoughts?
Oh, man. Blessed to be back in the studio. Blessed to have a good Mental Health Monday rolling. And as Krissy said, a lot of great laughs. Always great to be in here with you four, with the four of us, I should say.
And you got hoops tonight.
And I got a hoops game tonight. I got a hoops game.
A couple hours?
Next 18 nights. I think we play literally 18 days in a row. So opportunity for some guys to see some floor. Opportunity for me to just grow and get back together with these young men, and I'm excited about it. And big weekend. First opportunity for these kids to be seen in front of college coaches, so I'm very excited for them.
Hope all those young men stay healthy.
Open. Coaches have been out and about in June 1st that it opened up. I mean, you should see them on the sidelines of some of these lacrosse games.
Matter of fact, tomorrow, 12:01 tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever way you like to call it, the next crop, though, the class of 2023
is eligible to be contacted.
Get to be contacted for the first time by the college coaches. So, be fun for those kids to have that opportunity and get to see who's checking them out.
All right. Coach O'Neill, your thoughts on today, sir?
And the quote, great episode. Awesome to see everybody ready to rock and roll with the fam. Get out of town for a little bit. We'll talk about that later. But Coach Travers, love you, man. Thanks for coming on. My quote, I was thinking about this one a little bit, and I found this, and it felt right, during everything we've all been through. Some people are like shadows. They're always near you at your brightest moments, but nowhere to be seen in your darkest hour. So why did I write that? Or why did I read that? Is no matter what, folks, stick together. My Take It To You fam is with me when it's bright and when it's dark. Love you guys.
DJ Krissy, pull the plug.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our advertisers. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. Our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness, and Justin O'Neill. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy. All material is the exclusive property of the podcast and may not be copied, rebroadcast, or used in any way without the written consent of the podcast. The views, ideas, and commentary of podcast guests are solely their own and not necessarily endorsed by the podcast. You may submit questions, podcast ideas, and commentary to turnero'neillpodcast@gmail.com. No compensation is offered for submitted material. Should we choose to use your idea, comment, or question, you agree to your likeness, social media identity, and/or information being used on the podcast. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is recorded weekly and distributed via Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more than 15 podcast platforms in total. You can also view Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill weekly on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest episode drops. Some portions of the podcast may be pre-recorded. Join us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and subscribe. Our website is www.turnerando'neill.com. Advertising opportunities are available.